My mom, first of all, she freaked out because I think I'm the only daughter, and so she didn't have any experience, so she was also kind of very anxious about it. And my mom taught me how to use the piece of cloth because that's what she always used, and I always found it so uncomfortable, one, and two, I just didn't like it. I just hated it. I just hated those days in my life. So when I'm there in the school and if I took longer in the bathroom, my friends were suspicious about stuff, and now I cannot have a memory of it collectively, but I remember at one point I spoke to my friends, like really close friends, and I said that did your mom also talk to you about stuff like that? And they said, yeah, actually not my mom, and one of them said my maid said that to me. So I said, wow, okay. And so it was very brief talk. We never talked it openly. I also remember my mom said that when you have periods and if you eat sour stuff, because we were very fond of eating tamarind. We had a tamarind tree in a school, and I just loved that, and I think all girls love that. But she said that if you eat that, you have bad smelling periods, and so it was kind of that feeling, at least in me, that why I have to go through with that, why boys can still have that, they still have access to those things and I can't. In my house, if you have periods, you can still go to the kitchen, you can cook, you can even go to the temple. My family doesn't feel bad about it. You can drink water on your own. You can you can touch everything in the kitchen. You can touch everything. You can even share the bed with your husband when you have periods on. These are the things that are not allowed in India, in many cultures, and they think that because you're dirty. I think generation of my generation, I'm assuming that they don't use the piece of cloth anymore. But if you talk about my mom and her generation, they still use the piece of cloth, because I think in the villages women use the piece of cloth, and I think that's what the problem is. You never see where they dry them up, because when my mom used to do it, I never found it until when I started having them. And because the place that she told me, she said that maybe you can dry it here in the bathroom. And then whenever somebody comes in her house, she would just run into the bathroom first and then hide them first, and then let the guest in or anybody in, because if they go to the bathroom, they get to see it. And so that's how and I think it happens because I'm the daughter and I'm quite young, so there were times when I had no idea, or at least I didn't think that wise to hide them. So then my mom would do it for me. And in the village it's the same thing. You would never find how and where they dry them up. I have no idea. When I was little, I remember my mom would just even in winter, she would just go into the bathroom and wash something, and I would just you've done laundry in the morning, what are you washing now? At that time, I never bought this for myself. My mom got it for me, or my mom asked my father to do it, and then my father got it, and I never bought it for myself. But then eventually, when I became comfortable with my mom talking about this, I would go to the shopkeeper when nobody else was there except the shopkeeper, and then he would say, can I buy that please? And they would give you, and they still give you, they wrap it in a piece of newspaper, and then they would give it to you in a black poly bag. So in some ways it stands out, because if you're taking something in the black poly bag. So anyway, but one day I asked, there was a British friend I had, and I said, can I ask you something? And she said, you can ask any questions to British girls, I don't mind, you just tell me. And so for the first time, with talking to her, I found out about, I had heard of tampons. So I spoke to her and I was like, I want to know what that is and how do you put them on, and what are they comfortable, stuff like that. And so we were talking about it, and she told me she actually gave me one of the tampons, and I still have it, and I shown it to I haven't yet, but I told my sister-in-law. I told her that I will show you that, and because I explained to my mom and to my sister, they both went, "You're not gonna use it." That was the response I get. And I would never use it still, not because I have shame, but I think I'm not just comfortable putting something inside because I haven't done it. So I don't know, that's how I think. So now when I look back, I just think that it could have been made more comfortable and easy process if there is no shame involved in that within the society. If there is